welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting a brand new series which is going to be Behind the Song. It's inspired by Jana's Made By series where I'll choose one of my songs, you guys ask me questions about it and show you how I made the song and a bit of behind the scenes. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that I do stream every Wednesday, Saturday and Sunday on Twitch, so if you want to come and hang out, feel free to drop me a follow. The link will be in the description below. Okay, so today's song is Oblivion, which was from my first EP that I re-released in February. Now the session I'm going to be showing you today is a really old session. I actually got the track like remastered, so the remastered track is a slightly different mix, but all the elements that I did include when I made the song will be in my old session which I've got behind me. So yeah, let's see what you guys have asked me. Quables has asked, what inspired you to make music? I think I've always been into music since I was little. Originally Lily Allen got me into singing and eventually I joined a rock band, like full-man rock band, because I was listening to a lot of Paramore at the time, female fronted bands like Marmosettes. And then at uni I decided to start making electronic music, but I never released any of it. And then a few years after uni I decided to release music under Bekimachine, and this song in particular was quite inspired by Grimes. At the time I was listening to a lot of Grimes, like I love Grimes, and the actual song name is one of her song names. So Oblivion was taken from one of her first songs, or like near the beginning of her career. Bit of a homage to her for like inspiring me to make my own music. Okay, so the next question is by Super Unlucky Me, and he's got a few questions here, so we'll go through. Have you always wanted to do music, or if not, when did you discover you wanted to? I guess growing up I've always been, since a young age I played the flute, and then eventually I got into singing, and then one thing led to another and I just discovered music technology at school in sixth form and decided to do a degree in music technology. I've always loved music, and I think as growing up I've developed a love for it, but now that I'm older I kind of know that it's what I want to do. Like, I just love it. I love making music, I love performing, I love everything about it. I just find it I don't know, just love it. What is your favourite song you have ever made? Well, I do love Oblivion. One of my favourites of the EP, other than Ironheart, it was my first time trying to write a dance track. Now, it's not really a dance track at all, but it was like my take on a dance track. Did you have singing lessons, or are you self-taught? I had singing lessons when I was about maybe 17 or 18 for maybe a year, if that, which were really good. I didn't take any other singing lessons afterwards. I probably should, because I've definitely developed many a bad habit over the years. Okay, so the next question was from Mark. What was your inspiration behind the lyrics? My EP, Saga, was based on a story, based on a character called Saga. Basically my cyberpunky alter ego, and she's got turquoise hair. In Oblivion, it's one of the first tracks on the EP. It's like the start of the story where the girl is in a club, which is kind of how I went for like the dancey track vibe that ended up not really being a dance track, but oh well. She's like I imagine her being in a club and just meeting someone. She like meets a stranger who she trusts, but then is betrayed and taken to this cyberpunk alter like parallel universe where she gets made into a cyborg, escapes, and then is on the run. So that's where the rest of the EP goes, but the song Oblivion is up to when she gets like tricked into going into this alter universe. The Mexican Moose said, I'd love to hear your lyrics writing process. What's your inspiration and your take on writing them? Let's go through each of the lyrics and I'll tell you how that relates to the story that I was putting together for the EP. Dark skies, grey clouds, bright lights, sweet sounds, wander right into the oblivion. Basically, dark skies, setting the scene, we're outside, it's night time, grey clouds, night time, bright lights, you're inside the club, sweet sounds, it's good music. Wander right into the oblivion, it's basically wandering into a somewhere that is not good. Like the oblivion is just like a metaphor in the song for like somewhere you shouldn't be, or like somewhere dangerous. No trace, strange place, falling in from outer space, wander right into the oblivion. I think it was more of like a play on words. I just really like the line, falling in from outer space. That part of the song is about where she meets the stranger and he wants to take her kind of away, and she's like trusting him, but you don't have to be afraid. Basically the stranger saying, you don't have to be afraid, you know, come with me, let's have a fun night, da 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 da. I don't know. So take my hand tonight, in time our dreams will come alive. The world will fade, don't be afraid, reality melts away. Basically again, take my hand, you know, trust me, come with me. In time our dreams will come alive. Let's get drunk together, let's have a good time. The world will fade, don't be afraid, reality melts away. Meeting someone and trusting them, and like all of your kind of dreams or like worries are just disappearing. All of the characters' worries are disappearing, just having a good time. In the zone it might whisper away the dim lights, wander right into the oblivion. So in the zone, like in the club, on the dance floor, whisper away the dim lights. It's basically just, you know, it's dim, a dark room, and again we're bringing the wonder right into the oblivion. Again, wandering into this trap, wandering into the unknown. Stone cold stiff face, want it now, I'm on the case, falling down into the oblivion. So yeah, stone cold stiff face, kind of a hard face, like this person is now pressuring her to like come with him into the unknown and do something she doesn't want to do. Want it now, I'm on the case, just basically means she's going to do it. And then falling down into the oblivion means that she's fallen for the trap, like she's now going to go with him and fall for the trap. The breakdown is very like trippy and ambient, but it's I stumble through the darkness, I stumble, I don't know where I am, followed by the shadow that is clinging to my hand. So this is a bit where I kind of envisioned this like big portal, and all the instruments, I'll show you the instruments in a minute, how they kind of represent this bit, but it's very much kind of a trippy experience where she's following this guy and she's like taking his hand, and it's like really dark and like purpley and dark, and then it's I stumble through the darkness, I don't know where I am, so she doesn't know where she is anymore, followed by the shadow that is clinging to my hand. I imagine she's like holding the guy's hand, but at the same time it was like I imagined her holding the shadow's hand behind her. She was leading herself down through the portal. It's really hard to explain what's going on in my head because it sounds crazy when I say it out loud, but yeah, that was my thought behind that. And then again back to the chorus. So yeah, those are the lyrics. So Moose has also asked, what makes you choose the sounds you go for? Do you choose a virtual instrument until you find the right one, or do you know what you want beforehand? So I don't usually know what I want beforehand, I usually just experiment and see what I like. I will show you some of the instrumentation I used for this song now. Okay, so this is my old session. So my session is nice and laggy because my MacBook's really slow, but we'll just roll with it. I wanted this dreamy kind of song key, but I wanted it to feel like a dance track, but also have a minor element to it. If I just play the verse. Now that synth is so farty sounding. I definitely changed it for the actual mix, but we've got on one side, we've got the harp on one side and another harp on the other side, and one of them's kind of minor and the other one's a major clash. It doesn't sound like it's in the right key, but it isn't so out that it bothers you, but it just makes it really hard to tell what key the song is. So you don't know whether it's major and you don't know whether it's minor. It's kind of in the middle. I can't remember what that's called. If anyone remembers, let me know in the comments below. But you've got these, so I've panned it. That's the kind of dissonant one. And on the right hand side is the nice one. It's subtle, you don't realise it happening. As I go through writing songs, when I'm choosing my instruments, I do start thinking about what the song's about, and I actually add instruments later after I've written the lyrics. I sometimes feel that I can represent an image in my head through an instrument. For example, that's supposed to represent the falling into the void, so falling down into the oblivion, like you're falling. So that bit is supposed to represent that. So I tried to do that through like instrumentation. I guess that's through like delay. We've got these two pads. And again, it's like unsettling. You don't know, it's very minor here and you're like, oh. It's very like discordant, this song. So this is where I tried to create a dance track. Remember, this is like pre-mastered, so it will sound a bit different to the actual song. My basses were way too loud, and also looking at my mix, like, what is this? What is this? I've just put EQ on that. I haven't done anything else with it. Okay. breakdown. I wanted to represent this whole like portal and like trippiness of being led into the darkness and being led into this other world by this stranger who you've trusted. I wanted it to be really ambient and atmospheric. I had these So I have lots of these kind of arpeggiators, very ambient, kind of coming in and leaving and coming in, and it's these kind of ambient, and they just add to it. And then we've got the pads underneath. And let me show you the pads. I've got this really nice ambient pad just going all the way through. And if we add the arpeggios above it, I just felt like it really helped emphasize this like trippy, kind of ambient, like mesmerizing kind of situation, or like through the instrumentation, like a dreamlike kind of state, I think. I added this kind of horrible sound from Damage, which really clashes. And then it goes into a second part of, it's like the same thing but extra breakdown. And it just basically continues, but it's got offbeats. And then in the final chorus, I started to add like extra instruments and bits.
So the next question is by Implicit. I'm curious about how reverb tracks and effects contribute to delivering the message of the song. So let's go back into the song.
This is a pre-mix, so it doesn't have as many vocal effects as I did put on the final version of the track, but let's have a listen to the vocals. I really liked pan delay to emphasize this dreamy state. So all of the lead vocals have pan delay and reverb.
So take my hand tonight.
And then I showed you guys this before, but it was this ambient effect that helped like contribute to kind of falling. It linked back to the lyrics. I think it was in the breakdown where I made it even more ambient with the vocals, because I wanted it to feel like it was in a dream, so I added extra delay. But actually in this session, I don't think I had that much on it, because they do sound different. They sound a lot drier than they did in my final mix. I actually forgot I didn't do it in this, but I added extra vocals. Where is this not my final session? I added more vocals kind of here, so I kind of played around with it. And it kind of went, take my hand, take my hand.
In time our dreams will come alive. We'll fly, we'll fly, we'll fly. Don't be
So that's the effects I added, which aren't in this session. I played around with chopping up the vocals on the end chorus and to add like the effect of delay. It wasn't actually done for a plugin. I just chopped them up myself and put them where I wanted them.
And the final question is by Invisible Jazz. Do you have songs in your head before you start creating them, or do they only come into existence by experimenting? I think it's mostly by experimenting. I do occasionally sometimes get like a lyric idea come to my head or a melody come to my head just randomly when I'm out and about, and if I ever get that, I'll record it like a voice memo or write the lyrics down in my phone. But usually it just comes from opening up a new song and just seeing what happens. But yeah, I mean, I'm doing a lot of songwriting streams now on Twitch, so if any of you guys are interested to see like how I put songs together, make sure you stop by. It's a lot of fun. I'm working on an album at the moment. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and found it interesting, and let me know if you do have any more questions in the comments below. I'll be sure to answer them. If you want to get involved in the community, I do have a Discord server. I'll post a link in the description below, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys!